So, a video I just did about the Ottawa 67s is in the process of being uploaded at the time of recording because I wanted to hop on quickly because we have a couple of big news items that broke within a matter of minutes of each other. And I'm going to start off with the news that involves the Ontario Hockey League and particularly Sudbury Wolves fans. The team has announced that head coach Ken Mackenzie has issued his resignation. So, I know a lot of fans were wondering what would happen in this regards because the Sudbury Wolves going into 2023-24 had such high expectations. They had one of the best offenses in the Ontario Hockey League, but the thing that kept holding them back was the goals against, the goaltending, the defense. And for Ken Mackenzie, he's been a part of the Sudbury Wolves organization for years before he became the head coach for a second time. Because remember, he was the head coach of the Sudbury Wolves late 80s, early 90s. In that time frame, he was working as an advisor and as an assistant general manager, a lot of behind the scenes stuff with the Sudbury Wolves organization. But coming into this season, he took over the head coaching role, and this team, it just was lacking, I think, the consistency and the discipline at times. And Ken Mackenzie was trying, I think, to keep this team on the straight and narrow because the goal was to finish at the top of the Central Division standings, but of course, just not meant to be, as it was a roller coaster ride of a season for the Sudbury Wolves. But they did make the playoffs. They finished in that fifth spot. They got past the Mississauga Steelheads in the first round, but then got swept by the North Bay Battalion. So was it a situation of coaching? Is it the general manager? Is it the players in the room? I can't say for sure what the problem was with the Sudbury Wolves season, but in the end, Ken Mackenzie announcing his resignation, and in his statement, basically going on to say that this has been an extraordinary year. He was deeply grateful to the players and the entire coaching and training staff for their steady dedication day in and day out. He extends his sincere thanks to Dario Zulich, the owner of the Sudbury Wolves, along with Rob Papineau, who is the general manager, for entrusting him with the privilege to coach this exceptional group. And he owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to our incredible fans whose energy and passion electrified every game. Because this season, I really wanted to take in a game at the Sudbury Community Arena this year because I figured with the talent on this team, fans were going to come out in droves, and boy, oh boy, did they ever. It was an electric atmosphere from what I could tell whenever I tuned into a television or radio broadcast. And even just speaking with some of the commentators like Brian Cooper, who does the play-by-play on the radio side, he just couldn't get over how amazing the fan support was this year and that excitement. And you can even see it here on the channel. I know I do have quite a few Sudbury Wolves fans who tune in on a regular basis. So, there's a lot of passion in the Nickel City, but at the same time, disappointment and feeling of what this season maybe could have been if there were a few other maybe additions or changes in the lineup. But in the end, the Sudbury Wolves team kind of looking within to try and figure out how this team can move forward and maybe be competitive once again in the Ontario Hockey League, because the last time Sudbury made it to the OHL final, you have to go back to 2007. So it's been quite some time since there's been championship hockey played at the Sudbury Community Arena, but it all starts now at the offseason. I will be doing an off-season video for the Sudbury Wolves in the coming days. That may be next week, so stay tuned for that. Hit subscribe so you're notified about when that video comes about. And just also looking at the press release here from the Sudbury Wolves, they will begin the search for a new head coach and have someone in place by training camp. So let the speculation begin as to who the new head coach could be. If you're looking within, I would wonder about Drake Barahowski. He was brought in late in the regular season to help with the defense, and he's also had some assistant coaching experience with the Sudbury Wolves before. Does he get a look as a potential head coach for Sudbury starting next season? We'll have to wait and see as that whole process begins now for the Sudbury Wolves. And I wanted to end it on the note of Bob Cole, the legendary play-by-play voice for Hockey Night in Canada. It was announced today that he has passed away at the age of 90. And for hockey fans across Canada, he was kind of like your best friend every time you would tune in on a Saturday night for Hockey Night in Canada. Just his legendary voice, it's connected to so many great moments of playoff hockey for Stanley Cup championships. And a lot of broadcasters I know have looked up to Bob Cole as an inspiration for myself, he was definitely one of the play-by-play guys that I looked up to because at a young age, I wanted to become a broadcaster. I wanted to do play-by-play for the game of hockey. So as a kid, I would listen really closely to what Bob Cole had to say. He had the great lines like "Oh baby" and stuff like that. So it was he was definitely a voice that I enjoyed listening to. Appreciated his craft, and it's just really sad news that he has passed away at the age of 90. So my condolences to the family, thoughts and prayers going out to them, as I'm sure it's a challenging time, but at the same time, it's great to reflect on what Bob Cole meant to the broadcast world and just for what he was able to do calling games with Hockey Night in Canada. So just wanted to do a quick video here to go over the two big news items, and that's how I see it from the booth. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on the situation with the Sudbury Wolves, or if you have a great memory of Bob Cole. Would love to see that posted down below. So don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon.